Welcome dear all. I am Sandeep Chaudhary from YSU Union Junior College Pune. Dear students, in this part we are going to analyze remaining part of the poem Have You Earned Your Tomorrow. In this second part of the video we are going to explain four stanzas. We will learn various figure of speech mentioned in this poem. So let's start. Have you earned your tomorrow? This poem has been divided into four stanzas. Dear students, this is an inspirational poem. In this poem, poet is asking various questions to the reader, who ye, and we supposed to get motivation from these philosophical thoughts of the poet. So let's see stanza number 1 in detail. First, I will read the stanza, then we will see the explanation line wise. Is anybody happier because you passed his way? Does anyone remember that you spoke to him today? This day is almost over and its toiling time is through. Is there anyone to utter now a kindly word of you? Now in first stanza, poet raised three questions. So, dear students, questions can be considered as a figure of speech, that is interrogation. Line number 1, line number 2 and line number 4. There is interrogation used by the poet. Now, this poem is addressed to we. Here, poet is speaking to us and consists various questions. This poem addressed to you, the reader, and refer to him means stranger. In the beginning of the poem, here the poet asks whether anyone is happier because you while passing his her way. At the end of working day, will anyone remember with gratitude a kind of word or action that you may have done for him or her? Toiling time means time spent in hard physical work. Utter means to speak. Now, toiling time, the sound t is repeated. So this is example of alliteration. Dear students, let's simplify first stanza. In first stanza of this piece of the speaker begins with various questions. Of all questions to come, this one is most direct. It gets to heart of what guest speaker is concerned with. He asks if today you, referring to the reader, made anyone's day better. He speaks abstractly about him. The reader might have passed and helped or made happier. The speaker purposely does not define what this means. It is up for interpretation as it could mean any number of things. Actually, poet didn't state clear thought through the questions because he want to give it to interpretation of the meaning to the readers only. The question is followed by the second and the latter third. The second question asks the reader if there was anyone you spoke to today who remembers you. Again, this question could mean anything. The most important parts of these two questions are the emphasis on unprompted kindness and the fact that it is now the end of the day. The hours are running out for you to make a positive impact. The speaker emphasizes this by asking if there is anyone to utter now a kindly word of you. Dear students, the rhyming scheme of first stanza, not only the first stanza, in entire poem, poet applies AABB rhyming scheme, as there are four stanzas, and for four stanzas the rhyming scheme remains same, that is AABB. Now let's learn stanza number 2. See first stanza number 2. Did you give a cheerful greeting to the friend who came along, or churlish sort of howdy and then vanish in the throng? Were you selfish, pure, and simple as you rushed along the way? Or is someone mighty grateful for a deed you did today? Now, see, in second stanza, poet again raise a different question. Here, the speaker asks if any time during the day you greeted a friendly, cheerfully, now the kindness is moving inward. The speaker is also concerned with how you treat those known to you as well. Churlish means rude. Howdy means it is informal word for how are you, hi, hello. And vanish means disappeared. Throng means crowd, a large number. See, dear student, in second stanza, poet want to ask you, have you helped a needy person throughout the day? The poet asks, when you are passing, have you hesitantly say hello or howdy, or have you ignored your friend and you just quickly vanished in the crowd? So, in this stanza, poet want to repeat the thought, raising this question. The meaning, it is interpretation. See, in the next line, he presents the opposite and pushes the reader off on their own selfish tendencies rather than a cheerful, heartfelt hello. The speaker asks, if you were churlish means rude, this would also be marked by one's quick disappearance in the crowd and rushing off to another task. It is clear the speaker feels distant, distaste at the idea of treating a friend in this way. He says very clearly that it is a pure, selfish way to be, as if he is hoping for the opposite response. He asks, or did you act differently, and is someone grateful for a deed you did today? See, last sentence of this stanza. Deed you did today. Did and did. Now see, the spelling of the word is completely different, but pronunciation of the both word, that is a D double D and DID, it is same, and meaning also different. Did means action and did is here. Second did is past tense of do. Now let's distinguish between the three concepts: homonyms, homophones, and homographs. Now, homonyms means here there are multiple meaning of the word, but same sound and different meaning. See, homo means same. There are multiple meaning of those words. It stands for homonyms. Now, examples here: suit yourself or a suit. Now here, suit in the first sentence is used as an action, and second sentence is used as a noun. Weigh on the scale and scale the wall. Scale means climb here. The price of the fare. Go to the fair. Now look, the price is fair. Fair means very cheap. But go to the fair. Fair means noun. Spellings of all those words remain same, sound same, but every word having different meaning. It is called as homonym. Let's see second concept. Homophones means words that are sound alike. Same sound, but different spelling. In homonym, spelling is same, sound is same, but in homophone, sound same, spelling different. Now let's see examples. addition for math, an edition of a book. I want to go, I like it too. Now 2, T-O and T-double-two. 1 plus is 2. Now T-O, T-double-O and T-W-O. All these three words having different spelling, but sound is same and meaning also different. Capital building and state capital. Now capital, both words having different spelling, different meaning. Pick a flower and bake the flower. Now flower used as a beautiful flowers like rose, lotus, etc. and bake a flower, that is eating product. So spelling in homonyms is completely different, sound same, meaning different. Now last point, that is homographs. Now what is homographs? In homographs, same spelling but different pronunciation and different meaning. In homograph, spelling remains same. In homophone, spelling is different. In homonym, spelling is same. But now see, homographs, same spelling, different pronunciation and different meaning. See, desert means abandon and desert means the land or area without water. Bass, bass is instrument also and bass is fish also. Close means to shut down also and close means to nearby also. Bow, to bend down, that is verb, and bow, that is ribbon, noun. So here in homographs, spelling is completely same but different pronunciation and different meaning. So here we learn these three concepts: homonyms, homophones and homographs. I hope students you have understood first two stanzas in detail. In first two stanzas we learn a rhyming scheme, that is AABB. We have figure of speech like interrogation, alliteration, and in second stanza the same figure of speech have been repeated, that is interrogation. I hope you have understood the first part of this poem, stanza number 1 and 2. We will complete stanza number 3 and 4 in part 3. Thank you.